With the release of the latest Superman film this week, you can't help but think about the ultimate Superman, Christopher Reeves, who was left paralyzed from the neck down after a riding accident. Using a technology pioneered in Cleveland, surgeons were able to restore at least some of his ability to breathe on his own. Now, functional electrical stimulation is helping Northeast Ohio patients as well. IdeaStream's Karen Schaefer reported on FES technology earlier this week on 90.3 WCPN. Today, she spoke with Metro Health hand surgeon Dr. Michael Keith and his patient, Lou Foster, about this amazing technology.
Lou Foster, Dr. Michael Keith, welcome to Ideas.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No problem. Lou, you were injured several years ago. Tell us what happened.
I was heading home from work. Another driver went through a stop sign, hit me on the passenger side of my truck, ejected me from the vehicle, and had a spinal cord injury. Wow.
Once you realized the extent of your injuries, what was the hardest thing to adjust to?
Well, considering they told me that I would never move from the shoulders down, not knowing what to do about raising my family, how to provide for them.
Yeah, that must have been very difficult.
You know, the medical part, the part of me not walking or moving, that was the last thing on my mind at that time. I just didn't know what I was going to do about my family.
Well, since then, Dr. Michael Keith has been able, using a new technique called functional electrical stimulation, been able to restore an enormous amount of movement to your arms and your hands. Dr. Keith, what is FES and how does it work in Lou's case?
Functional electrical stimulation is a neuroprosthesis, an implanted device that provides electrical stimulation to paralyzed nerves. In Lou's case, these are the nerves of the hand and the forearm below the elbow and some muscles around his shoulder. It gives people who don't have control over these muscles the ability to use them in useful patterns and to do activities of daily living. Lou's especially fortunate because as a research subject in the current program, he was able to get 2 devices, one for each hand, and be able to be among the first people really in the world to explore the possibilities of regaining 2 hands and kind of revisiting his world after a period of paralysis.
Wow. Well, now that we have some video of you before the surgery, and we'd like to take a look at it right now, and maybe, let's see, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what we're seeing there. I see you're throwing a ball.
Yeah, really, it's been a long time since I've even seen this video. I really don't remember.
It's been several years now.
Yes, it'll be 2 years in July since I've been able to not have to use that device on my hand in order to try to even pick that object up.
It looks like you're using a fork there, and wow.
With an adaptive device, yes. I did have some finger and thumb closure, but that weight there that I'm trying to pick up is impossible.
Well, that must have been frustrating to try and I don't know, it's kind of unfair around food, but I guess you do want to eat meatballs and things. So after you implanted these devices, Lou is now able to manipulate much more with fine motor control, is he not?
Yes, he has many more muscles to use in his hand for opening and closing the fingers, but also to transfer objects between hands, and to also use normal implements like a normal pen or a normal fork, whereas before he had to use specially adapted equipment. This additional independence is, I think, very valuable because it's more normal.
Well, we've got another clip of that. Let's take a look. Oh, Lou, what are you working on there?
I'm trying to use both hands to be able to pick up the utensils and to be able to cut my own food for the first time. Considering I was never supposed to move from the shoulders down, I think that's a lot to see and something that we've all taken for granted, that you just pick up a knife and fork, and to have that taken away from you, and me playing ball here was one of the goals. So Dr. Keith had to find those muscles in order for me, those nerves, in order for me to be able to grip that ball and be able to hold it and throw it at my will.
Ron Hart, who's the engineer pictured there, built a special pattern of electronic grasp and release so that he could pick up a ball and release it quickly. It's a quick release grasp. So many of our other patients have particular needs to hold sandwiches or finger foods or to sew, so that some engineering here is very valuable in putting all of those new muscles back together in functional patterns.
Wow, well, it's amazing. What an amazing difference. What has it meant to you, Lou, to be able to function in this way now?
Brought dignity, a lot of dignity back to my life. Definitely a lot of independence. You never realize how independent you are until it's taken away from you. From getting up in the morning, going to your car, going to work. I would not trade anything for what I've learned from this injury. I mean, with my family, I've learned so much, and I've gained so much. Not only through the electronics, but just with life in general. I've gained so much from the doctors and his surrounding team, and I'm just ready to get up, and if I don't walk, I don't walk. But I can now feed myself, help myself drink, help my kids fold clothes. Compared to 6 years ago, when you're told you will never move again, something in you takes over. I thank God that I was able to see my children grow, and I'm alive, and I can't say enough that I'm just glad to be here, and for the doctors to be able to do what they can do, and me be able to give them the feedback that they need. I think we're only at the front. I think we're only at the beginning of what I think can be done.
Lou Foster, thank you very much for sharing your story. Dr. Michael Keith, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.